Very inspiring words, and I hope that the protest mounts very quickly. Two other things. Social sector spending, we are told new budget is going to be cut. So it's not just MNREGA, but general health, other social sector spending. You've also been very closely involved with the pension issue for workers and for agricultural labor. How do you see these other issues panning out? I'll come to right to information last, because that is, in fact got the head start in terms of other campaigns. But in terms of social sector spending, you have figures now coming out, whether you brought them out or others have brought them out, that the corporate sector gets hidden subsidies of over 5,00,000 crores. That somehow is not an issue either for the media or for the political class. But when you have social sector spending, social sector guarantees, some social sector insurances for the poorest of the poor, it creates a huge quote-unquote growth, attack from the growth sector, which is obviously not growth in the sense that we talk about it. But so, where is this government going with social sector spending?
See, the social sector spending has started dipping in the last 3 years or 2 years of the UPA. So if you go back and you find those, we got all these letters out to the RTI, there were quarrels between Jairam Ramesh and Manmohan Singh. Then Jairam Ramesh wanted more money and Manmohan Singh and Chidambaram were slashing it. So the pressure from the so-called institutions of financial institutions abroad and the strategies that they propose for us and the strategies they propose for themselves are very different. That's why Stiglitz has his great arguments in his book. And so the market itself is not, the market gets subsidy there. People get subsidy there, but they can't get it in India. I mean, one has to look at this, and I think viewers of this program must really read, because these are all limited things, that markets, we are not anti-markets, we are not anti-growth, but growth with what? Markets with what? Which kind of market? Which kind of growth is the issue? And this kind of blanket dubbing all of people in this highly polarized and completely, in my sense, senseless opposition doesn't lead to real development or real education. See, social sector spending has been slashed because there is some bogey that if you reduce social sector spending, this country will grow. It's just the opposite. Because in all the developed countries of the world, if you see, social sector spending is very high. If you look at pensions, if you look at any health coverage, anything, unemployment benefits, every single thing, it's high.
Single mothers,
you have to do it. I mean, it's the least you can do when you are, otherwise you won't grow, because there will be violence, there will be opposition, there will be an unstable society. So that's just a general proposition. And now we don't even need cover, because Adani has been given this $1 billion by the State Bank of India, and this is absolute crony capitalism. Why should a state underwrite the expenses of private industry? You get private industry.
You have the Prime Minister negotiating the deal. So
it means that actually you want a corporate takeover of India, in which you don't even get only the space to produce your own things, but you get to decide how this country could be run. But that would be suicide for this country. It's not against this party or that party, but it will be suicide. And let's just think back on what happened to India when this kind of agenda came. And we must remember, this is a country where there are economic divides of class, there are regional divides, there are caste divides, and there are religious divides. And you simply cannot proceed here without understanding the other. So you have to push in a very intelligent way both agendas, and that's why an institution like the Planning Commission was so important, because you need a political party in power can take any decision, but you need a Planning Commission to say, hey, look, there is another sector which needs to be considered. And people like us have had to understand that markets will come, that people want soaps and even Fair and Lovely, and then if people want Fair and Lovely, it will sell. I mean, I think it's a extraordinarily mindless thing to buy and use, because color of my skin will never change. But if somebody believes that and they buy it, how can I stop them? It's their individual freedom. So if I can understand that, the others should be able to understand that hunger, absolute hunger, where you don't have more food than what you will eat today, or health, where you're dying because of bad diagnosis, lack of money to go to health services, that you need public health, that you need a food security program, that you need pensions. If today I had to go and lift boulders to survive, or if I had to dig, how could I live? I'm 68 and can I survive? When I see my friend who is now 68 and tells me my body doesn't function anymore, and you tell me that she's a wastrel, or she's a sponge in society or a parasite in society, I can't believe it. She has worked for a pittance. She's worked all her life. So her pension is her right. Her pension is her right. So for me, all these social security programs have a place. What this government has done is it's scaled up the kind of attitude that had crept into the
since the 1990s,
and it's really aggravated it, and therefore now social security will get completely slashed. But let me just tell you that there is one thing that I feel is very, very important, that in the slashing of the social security and the slashing of all these things, we mustn't forget that it is going to be a very, very dangerous step, because you cannot wish away old people, you cannot wish away the poor, you cannot wish away poverty, hunger, or any of these things. A wise government would really address both. And that's why I believe there was an editorial I haven't read in one leading magazine saying that if this present government allows the MGNREJ to continue as it is UPA 3. Now this is the corporate sector speaking to us through that editorial, and we must understand that it's a very myopic understanding of India, and with that myopic understanding of India, the concept of India itself may not last.